Hello and welcome to Elizabeth's Craft Room. Today we're going to be making a card using this stamp set here, which is called Making Spirits Bright. It's in the Autumn Winter catalogue from Stampin' Up. We're going to use the actual Christmas image here, although there are all sorts of other cocktails and champagne and all sorts of other greetings that you can use with this stamp set. And they are really fun for using with the Blendabilities markers. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make this card here. So we're starting off with the base card in Hello Honey. This is half a sheet of A4 folded in half at 10.5 centimetres. And we're going to take a little piece of Whisper White. This is 2 inches square roughly, to stamp first of all, and we're going to stamp in Memento ink. This is the ink that you need to use if you are using Blendabilities. So these are alcohol based markers. So I'm just going to stamp that image on. Isn't that cute? Making Spirits Bright. And I'm going to do a little bit of colouring with the Blendabilities. Now the thing with Blendabilities is they are designed to just be fun colouring tools. So although you can do lots of blending with them, equally you can just colour in. So I'm going to start off by colouring the whole of the little Christmas cocktail here in the palest of the Daffodil Delight shades. Then I'm going to put a bit of the darker one down at the bottom. Then the medium one. And I think this is the non-scary way of doing the colouring, is to start with the lightest shade and then go back to the lightest shade. And with Blendabilities, as they dry, as the alcohol that is in the ink evaporates, they will go a little bit paler. So let me hold that close for you so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Now I'm going to do the leaves. What I'll do now is to bring the camera right down and see if we can do a bit of a close-up on colouring. Right, so we've zoomed right in now, and if I can get my pens underneath the camera, that's going to be the tricky thing. Yes, I can do it. I can just about see myself. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to colour in first of all, and I'm using the bullet end, which is the small end of the Old Olive, the palest Old Olive. And if you ever wonder which is which, because in some sets it's not terribly clear, it's actually written on there. It'll actually say Old Olive, and this one says light. You'll have medium and dark. So I'm going to go for the medium. I'm going to go for the darkest one now. Again, go in with that bullet tip, and I'm just going to go where those stems are, where the veins are on the leaves, and a little right at the bottom, especially where that leaf is in front of that one. Then the medium. Oops, that's the brush end. And then back in with the lightest one. And as that dries, you'll see the shading appear. If you can see it in the, in the Daffodil Delight, which is now dried, you can see the dark, the medium, the light all blended together, which is what Blendabilities are all about. Now, something to bear in mind is there is nothing wrong with mixing and matching. So you can use your regular markers, and this is my Real Red marker, and I'm actually going to use this on the candy cane that is in this cocktail, because these have much finer tips than the Blendabilities. I can get that fine detail, so you can mix and match. And I'll do the berries as well. Try and leave a little tiny bit of white on there. I don't know whether you can see that on the camera. It might be a bit blurry as we're so close in. And I think we're going to do, I did that one in, I'm choosing now what colour I'm going to do my bow in. I think I will do my bow in the yellow. Right, so I'm going to do my bow in the yellow, in the Daffodil Delight. So going in again I'm starting with the lightest colour and going over the whole of the bow. And then I'm going in with the darkest colour and I'm picking out those areas that would be in shadow. So that would be there and there, a little bit there, a little bit just around the middle. And then the medium one, just take those out just a little bit. And back over with the lightest colour. And there we go, that's all coloured in. Now they really are fun, these images, to colour with the Blendabilities. Right, let's move the camera back a little. Right, okay, so let's layer up on this card. The cardstock I'm using to layer this on is the fabulous, let me show you my scraps. This is called Trim the Tree, and it is from the Autumn Winter catalogue, and it is thick, heavy duty cardstock that you can use for box making, but you can also use it, and actually this is the piece I cut earlier, you can also use it on cards as well, but it is lovely and thick for boxes, all double-sided. So I've cut two pieces here. Now this larger piece, I shall just tell you, is 3 inches by just over 4.5. The just over is because I actually used the trees as my guideline. I didn't want any half trees on there. So it's just over 4.5. And this piece here is 2.25 by 3 inches roughly. Okay, so I'm going to layer these up, a little tombow. In case you haven't used Blendabilities, completely normal for the ink to come through on the back of the Whisper White. So you always are looking to do a little layering when you're going to do this. Let's pop that one on there. Now I want to have a little bit of bling, so I'm going to add some of this. This is the gold sequin trim. This is in the big catalogue. And what I'm going to do to attach this is I'm going to use some fast fuse on the back of here. Now, this is like the red sticky strip. It's a little bit of a learning curve using it. You need to go straight down and then flick it sideways to use that. And I'm just going to, that's going to hold that trim nicely in place. I need to go just a little bit lower. There we go. And snip that off. And then I'm going to take a few of the sequins and actually just pull them off the thread so I can use those separately on the card. They're quite well behaved, but occasionally you need to trim that thread to get a bit closer to pull them. There we go, like now. Whoops. Let's pull that inner thread, take a couple more. I think that'll be enough. We'll use those in a moment. So that's our little layer. We want a greeting, and there are, as I said, lots of greetings in here. I'm going to use the little Merry Christmas from that same stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that in Cherry Cobbler, because this layer here is in the Cherry Cobbler ink. A nice crisp font on those greetings that are in there. I'm going to use the word window to cut that out. I'll take a little piece, a little edge piece of my dimensionals. Always use your edge pieces. Little narrow edges are perfect for the word window. And pop my Merry Christmas greeting up. And I'm going to also take some dimensionals and pop those on the back. Pop this up. And something about using this thick card is making the whole project feel really substantial. When somebody opens this and takes it out of the envelope, it really feels like a, you know, a really quality, high quality card that they're receiving from you. This is for somebody special. There we go. I'm going to flip that over and put Tombow on the back there. Now, sticking these sequins is an interesting thing. You can use Tombow, but it does tend to squirt through the little hole in the middle, so you need to put a very, very, very tiny bit of Tombow on. You can use glue dots, but what I'm going to use today is the two-way glue pen. And I'm just going to dot some little bits of glue randomly down the side there. And then I'm going to pick these up and pop them on the glue. And what I found was, if I just laid them down on there and then left this to dry, the sequins stick quite nicely with the two-way glue. They don't fall off. And I found this the easiest way. I tried snail and all sorts of things, but this has worked out for me to be the best way of attaching sequins. And as you can see, it's quite fast to do. Don't try and move them around now. Leave them for a bit. But you can see they're already stuck, but they'll stick on firmly as that glue dries. Right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your visit to Elizabeth's craft room today. I'm going to be making some more projects with Making Spirits Bright, because it's a really fun stamp set. Look forward to welcoming you back again soon.